Hi guys, welcome to Celtic Tuning. Here we have two Suzuki Swift Sports, both running 270 brake horsepower and 270 foot-pounds of torque. They're both running big turbos, however they're slightly different spec, which we'll dive into in a minute. One's yellow, one's blue. Which colour do you prefer? Let us know in the comments and we'll go into it. So Tom, the blue Swift, talk us through the spec on this one compared to the yellow one.
Yeah, so obviously these are two, at the moment, completely standard externally cars. Both have upgraded turbos. Ours has what's called a GBC22-350. This one has a slightly smaller, but as it turns out equally as capable, GBC2300. And actually I prefer this one on the road because coupled with a decap, this is spooling 700 RPM sooner, nice. However is equally making as much power as our yellow one, all the way to a 7,250 RPM red line. No. Engine bays, trying to keep them looking kind of somewhat standard. A lot of people have open cone filters around the backs, drawing in hot air. These ones run forge enclosed kind of systems. This one actually has red piping on a blue car, as we kept black piping on that one there. Turbosmart diverter valves on both of them. Turbosmart vacuum internal wastegates. That's actually quite new to the market last year. Funk Motorsport heat management blankets. This one has a decat, has a straight through centre section on this one to a CTC Motorsport rear silencer. Ours actually is kind of completely different because we have a 200 cell cat on ours. We actually have an 18-inch centre silencer to keep it really quiet, to a Milltek back piece on there. On the road, this is actually the one that I prefer. Yeah, it's looking like we're probably going to actually put ours to the slightly smaller turbo. The good thing with the GBC range is because they're a modular turbo, all of the external sizes of the turbo are the same. So it's simply a case of bolting one off, ordering the correct, the size that you prefer, and bolting it on there. All your oil lines marry up, all of your intake and exhaust downpipes, everything there will kind of, just bolt straight on as it is. So
they've really made that plug and play for this car, haven't they, really? You can put it on, it will work, there's no major modifications needed.
No, obviously there's an adapter plate in between the turbocharger and the block, just from the Suzuki pattern to the Garrett standard T25.
Yeah, you can see that there,
Both vehicles have got a Wagner tuning intercooler, which obviously isn't the cheapest, but again, is hidden really nicely behind the bumper here. Yeah. To look at externally, these cars look completely original, but that intercooler really is kind of the biggest you're going to fit in there, with kind of the radar cruise and everything still not being cut out the way.
Yeah. I was going to say, to get big power like that of such a small car, normally you have to do quite a lot of modifications to make stuff fit, but they've made it fit so nice in there that there's you can keep your car looking as standard as possible.
Like you say,
get great power out of it.
Exactly that, it really does look kind of standard to look at.
In terms of the engine bays as well, they both look identical. Obviously they've both got the forge
forged intake system on both of them.
Looks great, but doesn't majorly look.
No, it still fits with the engine cover, which a lot of the aftermarket ones don't fit with an engine cover. These have obviously got upgraded injectors in both of these ones here. As we do a lot of Alfa Romeos and we kind of specialise in them, we've got 4C injectors in the yellow car. This one's actually got Alfa Romeo QV injectors into it, and we make our own custom kind of loom because the plugs are slightly different on them.
Which is crazy because those injectors are from a 2.9
twin turbo V6
turbo, and we've gone and put them in a 1.4 litre.
At least they're going to be well within their capacity running on this car. So obviously with 6 cylinders on that one, down to 4 cylinders on this, but yeah.
And obviously in terms of, you said they've got the same manufacturer of turbo, but they're both slightly different in terms of their capabilities. So what's the difference?
Yeah, obviously this one is rated for between 200 to 300 horsepower. The one on the yellow car is between 220 to 350 brake horsepower. But equally, both of them can flow up to 300 horsepower. Yeah. So like at 270, they're well within their ranges. So,
amazing.
Yeah, so like I say, the one on the blue car is actually, because it's spooling in sooner but still pulling, it's probably the one I'd go for.
Nice. Well, let's get into it. Let's get in the cars, take them for a drive, compare them, and then get some footage of us driving around and people can see how they drive.
Yeah, give them a little spin.
Right, so obviously been driving for a while now, tyres are warm. We're going to do a little 0 to 60 launch here.
Just so you can kind of see what the yellow Swift, our Suzuki Swift Sport, sounds like in the car. Traction limited, obviously, with the skinny tyres. So.
Right, here we go. So we're breaking a lot of traction there. Today's a really nice day. It's not super warm, but it's a warm day for what we've been having. Roads are super dry, tyres are warm. It's got that much torque. It's just breaking traction.
Next mods on this will be a limited slip diff with obviously wider tyres.
Yeah, you're going to need that to hold the power, aren't you? It's not.
Yeah, so we've got all the power at the minute, but now to get the control of it.
I think the nice thing about being in here, you know, we've got decat.
No, this one's actually got this one. This
one's got the decat.
This one's got a 200 cell catlet converter, an 18-inch centre silencer, and a Milltek back box. So this one's actually still rather quiet inside.
Still got a nice daily driver to have.
Yeah.
As a car with great power, you're not being deafened by droning noises all the time. No. I know I've driven, especially some other cars in the past, like Volkswagen Golf Rs with the decats, and it becomes unbearable when you're driving around at cruising speeds and you've got that deafening drone in your ear because of the decat and stuff like that. So there is a major difference between having that cat and having that centre silencer as well, rather than just a decat straight through to the exhaust. Obviously, because we're running the Milltek back box on this one as well, aren't we?
Yeah. So we'll join a bit of dual carriageway here, and we'll give it a bit of a squeeze so you can kind of listen again to the second gear.
Just braking traction straight away.
Yeah.
For like a comparison of cars, you've got this 1.4. I'd say a competitor for this sort of car would be Abarth.
Yeah.
Obviously the Abarth, they're similar weights. But obviously this is quite a considerably bigger car as well.
It's a 4-door car, obviously, versus a 2-door car. A lot more modern tech on this. You know, these come with all, you know, screens in them, radar, cruise control, LED headlights, which is why we like the Swift. Engine differences: direct injection, integrated exhaust manifold, similar to like a Golf R, whereas like an Abarth has an actual traditional exhaust manifold. Yeah, so those is just a lot more modern design on the engine in these ones.
Yeah, I suppose the only downfall to having that integrated manifold is it's not something that's changeable, is it?
It's not changeable, but to be honest, it doesn't seem to be limiting us here.
It's not limiting power or flow or anything like that. No. So I suppose it's one less thing to sort of go wrong on.
Both equally capable. I mean, our Abarths, we tune those with bigger turbos. See anywhere up to kind of 300 horsepower out of those, and I'm pretty sure people have done that on standard engines and rods. The Swifts here, again, what's the limit of them? I don't know. We're running anywhere up around 270, 275 pound-feet out of these engines standard at the minute.
So I suppose the next downfall would be the diff.
Yeah, so the diff is the big upgrade that's needed.
Need to upgrade it.
Definitely need it in this one. The blue one, you'll probably see soon. The customer is actually going to be taking it on track and is potentially taking it to the Nürburgring. That's actually going to Scotland soon to have all of the upgrades for it. So it'll have aftermarket wheels, it'll have a roll cage, bucket seats. I believe it's going to have obviously the diff, clutch. That's the other thing as well. These cars are both running the standard clutch. I mean, we're quite lucky with this one. It's only a low mileage at 24,000, so the clutch feels pretty good. The other one has done nearly probably over double the mileage, and the clutch, you know, it's only been tuned for a couple of days and has been driven, you know, pretty gently to bed it in essentially, because it's obviously only just had the turbo put on there. But that's going to be changed straight away, because I think on a vehicle with higher mileage, the clutch is definitely going to be struggling. It's going to absolutely let go, I think. So.
No, do you know what I like about the Swift is it feels planted. It feels like, even it's a small car, but it feels stable.
Yeah.
When you're driving it through corners, you've got that stability, you've got that the grip of the car. It doesn't feel like, again, with the Abarths, they feel quite.
They do feel a bit
short
top heavy,
don't they? They're not.
Yeah, I mean, these are actually really soft as standard. I mean, especially with the power that we're running in this one here, it's too much for this standard chassis. On anything other than a dry day, you just wouldn't bother to give it a squeeze.
No,
the blue one actually
breaking traction on the drive.
Yeah,
I can't believe what it'd be like in the wet.
The blue one actually has looks like it's got a rear anti-roll bar fitted to it, which is what we're going to do to this one. We're eventually going to put some BC Racing coilovers if they do it for this one. The other one's got some springs and some dampers on it, I believe. So driving the other one on the road, actually, that one feels really planted, whereas this one with the power does feel a lot softer, having driven the two back to back.
Yeah. So in terms of if we've got people that are wanting to upgrade, they've got a Suzuki Swift, what's the sort of ballpark that we've been looking at for the prices and stuff?
Yeah,
it wasn't massive, was it?
It all depends on what is fitted to the car currently, because a lot of Swifts already have mods on them. If you've already got like the Forge intake system on there, if you've already got kind of like a cat back or kind of front axle back exhaust on there,
yeah,
that'll obviously massively reduce
halfway
your
there,
cost.
aren't you?
Yeah, that's it. We obviously, depending if you want a 200 cell cat on there or if you want a D-cat downpipe, we then obviously got the cost of the turbo, the Wagner tuning intercooler, injectors. Again, they're not the cheapest, but they fit, and you know, we know that they're going to deliver and keep these running nice and rich. I don't know what the limit of the standard injectors are, but again, we wouldn't want to test that and find out.
Obviously, we're never going to be able to get near to the limit of those 2.9 QV injectors, because they're running a 2.9 V6, which is
in the blue one, and yeah, this is from
two cylinders knocked off a 488.
Yeah, this is a Alfa 4C injectors in this one, but again, that vehicle from the factory is a 1750 TBI running 245 horsepower that we regularly tune upwards of 360 horsepower out of them, with no limitations on the injector sort of thing. So in this vehicle, yeah, absolutely plenty of headroom in them.
Never going to touch it.
No, absolutely.
But yeah, so if you guys are interested in getting your Suzuki Swift tuned, or you're thinking about buying a new car, looking for something that's highly upgradable, this is affordable. It's a 1.4. It's a good mediocre car to, you're not pushing massive capacities, so you're not up there with a 3 litre, but you're not down at the 1 litre, so you're kind of in the middle of where you'd want to be to have a good capacity car, but it's highly tunable. So you've got 270 brake horsepower out of something that's 138 brake horsepower standard. You know, it weighs 1,000 kilos. So for what you can get, for the price you can get them at, if you're looking at getting a car that you think, oh, where should I go, what should I buy? You know, your competitors being Abarths or possibly a Volkswagen Polo or something like that, this is a good, affordable car where you could have lots of fun, lots of power, highly upgradable, and you know, it'd be perfect for if you want to take it to the track. It could be an amazing track car as well. If you've got the suspension sorted, get that set up, you'd have a hoot around this in the track. I think it'd be amazing. So if you are interested in that sort of stuff, get in contact with us, Celtic Tuning. You can contact us through a phone number. You can contact us through our emails, inquiries@celtictuning.co.uk, and one of the team will get back to you in terms of helping you spec your car for upgrading it. But it's definitely something worth thinking about if that is the route you want to go down. If you've got any other vehicle that you do think that you want to get tuning, even if it's just an inquiry, seeing what power you can get out of it, again, contact us. If you go on our website, celtictuning.co.uk, you can type your reg in there and it'll bring up your vehicle details and it will show you the power we can get out of your vehicle. If your vehicle isn't listed on the website, please do still get in contact with us, because there are some vehicles that aren't yet listed on the website, but we can do them. So definitely get in contact, and one of the team will help you and let you know what power we can get out of your vehicle, whether it just be a stage 1 eco tune, or whether you are looking for uprated turbo injectors, even go for like a stage 2 as such, so having a turbo upgrade on there. Right, so we're out in the blue Swift now. We were just out in our champion yellow Suzuki Swift. So this blue one's a customer's car. We've just come out to show you the difference with the sound of the two cars. So this one's the one with the D-cat. I believe it's got a straight through pipe.
It's got a D-cat straight through centre section on this one to a CTC Motorsport rear box. We won't be doing any launches in this one, obviously it's a customer's car, but we'll give it a squeeze through second gear here on a bit of a straight, just to kind of show you how raw, but you know, kind of quickly these things will gain pace. So we'll bring it right down in the revs here, and we'll go through second into thirds.
much quicker on this because of that
Smaller
different style turbo. So it's got the smaller turbo, which obviously is less spool time for you to get up into those rev ranges. So R1, I believe, did you say it's 900 RPM?
It's set about 700 RPM. Obviously, the decal will be helping with the spool, but it's naturally the fact that the turbo is smaller.
Yeah, so it will spool that bit quicker, giving you the torque will come in that bit quicker. So it's a lot more drivable.
Yeah, this is the one for the road that I'd have. Obviously, we went as big as we could to start with, just to kind of push the limits, so that the turbo wasn't limiting us. But it seems to be that actually, on a standard engine, this turbo
is more than capable.
It's more than capable. It didn't start to tail off until kind of gone 6,000. So we put the rev limit to 7,250. This is actually going to be on track, being kind of punished. So yeah, the extra revs will certainly help.
Definitely. You got those bigger. So this is the one with the QV injectors. So the bigger QV injectors on there, on track. You have the reliability of knowing that you're going to get fuel in there. If you're up in the 6,000 to 7,000 RPM all the time, you know that you're not going to run out of fuel. So there's a good bit of reliability and a bit of peace of mind with having those bigger injectors.
This one also as well, we added a little bit of burble on the overrun, so just a little crackle as you let off. Don't know if you can really pick it up too much, but there's just a slight little crackle. Just a little crackle as you let off on this one that ours doesn't have, but nothing that's going to get you black flagged on track, or nothing, you know, pops and bangs, or nothing
sounds
kind of
sporty,
chavvy.
Just a little sporty burble.
Just a little bit on the overrun
sound in there,
yeah.
As well. So we didn't put the burbles on R1 because we won't do burbles with a cat in place, because the burbles obviously you're creating combustion or ignition within the exhaust, the cat, so it can burn down that cat, and it can create back pressure issues, which then can longevity create issues for your turbo. So with a lot of things we've been asked for, like pops and bangs, burbles, this sort of stuff, quite frequently.
We do on a decap.
We'll always do it on a decap, as obviously there's no issue with anything being damaged there. But so if you guys are interested in burbles and things like that, just be aware that to have burbles, we'd always say you need a decap. So if that's something you are interested in, you need your decap. You can add burbles to quite a lot of vehicles now. We've developed quite a lot of burble and pop and bang maps for a wide range of vehicles now. So if you are interested in that, along with your stage 1, that is something we can provide. So finishing up our test drive, we're going to head back to the workshop, and we're going to get this car on the dyno to give you guys a bit more of an insight into the exhaust noise from outside the vehicle. So we'll get it on there, do some pulls, and then you guys will be able to hear a bit more of those burbles and what it sounds like with that decap and that straight through pipe compared to R1, which has still got the 200 cell sports cat and the mid-box silencer in there. So see how it runs on the dyno.